A jury makes quick work in finding a Scottsbluff man guilty on all counts following an October dispute. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, it took a jury a little more than 1 hour of deliberations to find a Scottsbluff man guilty on all counts following an October altercation. Jason Leeling was arrested after getting into an argument with a man on West Overland and attempted to run him over in his Jeep. After officers arrived, Leeling reportedly began yelling at one of the deputies from his vehicle and drove away, initiating a brief pursuit. On Wednesday, Leeling was convicted on charges of attempted second-degree assault, use of a deadly weapon to commit a felony, and driving under suspension. District Judge Leo Dobrovony set a June 17th sentencing date where Leeling could face a prison sentence ranging from 1 to 50 years. Well, the Alliance City Council this week had the opportunity to meet face-to-face with new police chief David Levitt. City manager Seth Sorensen said that the first few weeks have gone well as the chief gets situated in the community.
I'm sure you've all had the opportunity to meet him, but we have Chief David Levitt, been with the city for 2 weeks now and is doing great, getting to know his people. We're very excited to have him and very grateful to the police department for the way that they have welcomed him. Anything that you'd like to share?
I'm just excited to be here. We're already having one-on-ones with all the officers and staff and setting some priorities and some goals. And everyone seems really excited and on board, and I'm proud of you.
The police chief job posting drew 9 applicants from states across the country before the city of Alliance extended the offer to the veteran from the Nashville Metro Police Department. And the Scottsbluff City Council this week approved some modest fee increases for facilities within the Parks and Rec Department. Director Matt Carpenter said they needed to make a few moderate increases for facilities like the Riverside Campground to become more in line with surrounding campgrounds and help offset some of the expenses that go on in the park.
We're also looking at adding a little bit of an increase to Westmore Pool. Same reasons, a little bit of increase in cost to run and operate the pool. And then also 18th Street Plaza. It's become a popular venue, so we'd like to add in a fee for that as well.
The council asked Carpenter just how much those camping fees would be going up.
Campground fees, so dry tent camping was at $10 and it would go up to $12. Electric and water only was $20 and that'll go up to $25. And then the full hookup, which is the more expensive aspect of our park, was $25 and that will increase to $35.
City manager Kevin Spencer says that Scottsbluff will remain a good bargain for these facilities even after the rate hike. We'll have more news right after the break.
Looking for free instead of fees? Platte Valley Bank can help you keep your finances moving forward with no ATM fees. Whether you're headed to the lake, the mountains, or just to the grocery store, you can enjoy the freedom of free ATM access anywhere, anytime. Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
Life Care promises us that we are looked after and taken care of properly.
If I didn't have Life Care, I would be probably scared to death about having enough money for when I got older or when I got sick.
Moving in here was an easy decision and in fact a no-brainer. I looked at it as actually buying long-term care insurance and in retrospect a good move.
One of the things that convinces me that we did the right thing is no matter what happens, we will constantly be taken care of.
The whole thing is just vital because you don't have to be worried about what's ahead for you. It's there, it's in black and white, and that's reassuring.
This is home. It has been from the day I moved in.
Welcome back. Nebraska lawmakers have adjourned sine die for the 2024 regular session, but the final day may have been more notable for the failure of certain bills to pass with a clock running out. A measure supported by Governor Jim Pillen to broaden the sales and use tax to reduce property taxes by an estimated 22% was among those that failed. LB 388 would have also included a harder cap on local government spending, an increase in the earned income tax credit, and front-loading of the income tax credit for property taxes paid. During debate, Gering Senator Brian Hardin said he stood in support of a special session to transform all of the state's tax policy.
Voting for 388 does not transform our tax policy. Voting against 388 does not transform it either. Our tax policy in Nebraska is bleeding from an artery. It's not in need of a Band-Aid on your toe. We have the 6th worst package of taxes in the United States, according to the Tax Foundation. It takes courage to do something entirely transformative, and that will take time.
After more than 90 minutes of debate, Senator Louie Ann Linehan of Elkhorn, who's the sponsor of the bill, read the room and asked Speaker John Arch to pass over the bill. Meanwhile, the failure to pass a property tax relief bill virtually assures at least one special session for Nebraska lawmakers this year. During his final address on the final day of the 60-day session, Governor Jim Pillen praised lawmakers for their sacrifices and the measures they did pass, but expressed his extreme disappointment in the failure of LB 388. Pillen said every state resident agrees that property taxes are out of control and lawmakers need to take steps forward towards meaningful tax relief this year.
With this legislature's failure to enacting meaningful property tax relief, we're behind at the end of the first half, but we still got a second half to go. I will call as many sessions as it takes to finish the long overdue work of solving our property tax crisis.
Pillen said property tax relief was not the only piece of unfinished business for lawmakers. He specifically mentioned the need to return Nebraska to winner-take-all for electoral college votes for the presidential race.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the Scottsbluff Body and Paint Ag Desk. Scottsbluff Body and Paint, you're driving home our reputation.
Well, let's rewind back to the 2024 Women in Agriculture Conference. While we were out there in Kearney, Alex Makovica caught up with an extension educator to delve into the significance of effective communication for an agricultural operation. Here's her conversation.
We're joined now by Lisa. Lisa, one of your points was communication, talking about effective communication. First of all, when you think about communication, what are the important things that you are communicating with the people in your workshop?
So we talked about a lot of things in the communication session. Obviously, verbal communication is an important one. There's lots of ways we communicate. Linear communication, me just talking to you and just telling you something. That's what I did in that session. That's how a lot of how lectures and workshops are. But we really want this transactional communication. So we talked about what that means. That means it has to be a conversation and that we have to interact, and you have to be willing to let the person you're talking to communicate with you. And I think often as we think about, family farms, we think about directions on how to do stuff, we're often telling people, and we're not thinking about a conversation with someone. And that for both of us to understand what we're asking, that we need to both be involved in the conversation. So we kind of set the stage with that.
Okay, so you think about that. What are some tips for effective communication, whether it's on the family farm or operation? What does that look like?
So first and foremost, I think coming back to the idea that it is a conversation, that I'm asking questions, that I'm gaining perspective, that I'm actively listening, and that's more than just listening as I'm talking, that I'm deciding what I want to reply, right? It's stopping those words in our head to try and hear what the other person is saying, and then making sure you understand. We talked a lot about paraphrasing and rephrasing, that after I tell you how I'm feeling, you say, okay, this is what I think I heard. Am I correct? Because that's where you're going to find out whether you interpreted it correctly or not. It's interesting how words matter and how people interpret words differently. And we can all be thinking we know what the word means, but until we ask, or until we talk about it, until we converse, we may all be interpreting things differently.
It is 2024. People live on their cell phones. What role does texting and social media, and even just phone calls, maybe play into that conversation?
Yeah, that was a question that came up. Tell me what you think about texting. And while it has benefited us in so many ways, and it has allowed us to have this ongoing, constant communication, it is for the most part linear. Because I'm really sending you something without any body language, without any tone. You get to interpret the tone. You get to interpret what I said. And we have stopped talking, because it's just easier to do this and to send the messages back and forth and think, look how much more efficient we were. And we may be saving time. But if it is a conversation about anything where decisions need to be made, we need to problem solve, we need to come to some consensus, anything that's where a conversation should happen, it's not truly a conversation. Even if I reply, face-to-face conversations are always best in those tough situations, and where decisions need to be made. And so you can say I'm home, or I'm going to be home in 10 minutes, or hey, did you feed the dog, or all the things that could happen with a text. But when we're going to talk deeper level, we need to converse together.
Benzel Pest Control has been the Wyoming and Nebraska area's most committed professional pest control company. We have 4 generations and nearly 50 years of experience serving Nebraska, Wyoming, and Colorado, as well as certified entomologists on staff. So whether you're dealing with spiders, wasps, rodents, or any other unwanted visitors, give Benzel Pest Control a call today for an estimate at 888-229-2128 or visit our website at benzelpestcontrol.com.
Let's take a peek at your weekend community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
You deserve to have a building that will last for generations. With more than 110 years of experience and thousands of satisfied customers, Morton Buildings is the industry leader you can trust. If you're planning for a garage, farm shop, horse barn, storage building for your RV, boat, or collectibles, there's no better time to buy. Contact your local Morton sales office or visit mortonbuildings.com to get started today.
Tired of feeling stuck? Not sure if you are on the right track? Platte Valley Bank can help keep your finances moving forward with checking account options to fit your lifestyle and an online account chooser to make finding the right account easy. Control your financial future with helpful budgeting tools and automatic savings plans. Now is the time to enjoy the ride with Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
And finally tonight, priority candidate for the University of Nebraska president, Dr. Jeffrey Gold, will be at a public forum next Wednesday, April 24th at 3 p.m. at the Panhandle Research Extension and Education Center in Scottsbluff. Public, faculty, staff, and stakeholders will have the opportunity to meet Gold, ask questions, and hear about his leadership vision at the open forum. Gold, the current executive vice president and provost of the University of Nebraska system and chancellor of the University of Nebraska Medical Center, was named the priority candidate for the University of Nebraska presidency on March 20th, following a national search. Gold is currently undergoing a 30-day public vetting period. If, after the vetting period, the Board of Regents deems it appropriate, they will bring Gold's appointment for consideration at a Board of Regents meeting. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. We'll see you back here on Monday.